The very first day I went abroad, the male lead couldn't wait to hook up with the female lead while she was drowning her sorrows. After securing his spot as a rebound, he started low-key panicking that I, the first love returning home, would steal his girl back. So he started heavily flexing their PDA everywhere, constantly doing the most to trigger me. But what he doesn't know is, I've unlocked my memories as the doomed supporting character. I know that in the future, I'll totally self-sabotage, while he uses his resemblance to me, to slowly steal my entire life, and completely replace me. And this time the male lead, Nhi Recap, egged on his roommates to push me into the pool. Then he pulled his classic move, bringing Billionaire over to watch me throw a fit and act like a bully. According to the plot, the original me was supposed to be absolutely furious, march up and slap the taste out of Nhi Recap's mouth, and aggressively demand his 3 roommates get on their knees and kowtow to apologize. Nhi Recap would cry his eyes out looking super pathetic, making Billionaire feel incredibly sorry for him. She'd get into a massive screaming match with the original MA and storm off with Nhi Recap. But before I could even say a word, my bestie Liu Yanran, standing next to me, totally lost it. Who do they think they are, pushing Ge Chen into the water? Nangbing, you need to give us an explanation. Billionaire frowned. He just fell in the water. He's not even hurt. It's really not a big deal. Nhi Recap's roommates immediately backed her up. We literally didn't mean to. Who told him to try and hit on someone else's girlfriend? I totally ignored their toxic comments and just asked, where's my bag and phone? I was holding a bag when I fell in it. You guys only fished me out, but left my stuff. Liu Yanran quickly ordered someone to fish my things out. This bag of mine is a limited edition. It can't even handle rain, let alone being fully submerged in a pool. Now that it's soaked, it's completely ruined, along with the phone and everything inside it. Sitting in the water for that long, who knows if it even works anymore. I casually took inventory of my ruined stuff. The male Nhi Recap and his roommates watched what I was doing. Looking a bit confused, he knows exactly how important Billionaire is to me. Back in high school, he was basically, nobody. But now he's had this massive glow up and snatched the girl of my dreams, the campus heartthrob. He definitely thinks I'm going absolutely crazy right now by triggering me like this. He wants me to completely ruin my image in front of Billionaire. Logically speaking, making a fool of myself by falling in front of everyone. I should have totally thrown hands with him by now. Nhi Recap secretly plotted in his head, then put on this super heavy dramatic tone. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. His roommates got super defensive and pulled him back. Recap, don't apologize to him. You didn't even do it. I just can't stand guys who thirst after other people's girlfriends. If we did it, we own it. We pushed him, and we'll admit it. I just gave a slight smirk. If you did it, you own it, right? The pants I'm wearing cost 258.0. My shoes are 45.0. My bag is 470.0. And my phone is 13.0. All ruined by the water. The grand total is 786.0. So who did this? Who's paying up? Boom! The moment I dropped that, Nhi Recap and his 3 roommates were absolutely shook. How much? 786.0. That's literally the price of a house back in their hometown. Nhi Recap and his roommates all come from pretty average, working-class families. How the hell is a pair of pants over 200.0? And how is he just casually carrying a bag worth hundreds of thousands? Such a material girl. His 3 roommates were totally panicking now. There was no way they could afford to pay that back. Nhi Recap looked at Nangbing with tears in his eyes. Next to me, Liu Yanran realized the drama was getting spicy and immediately started adding fuel to the fire. I thought you guys said you'd own up to your actions. Nangbing, don't tell me you're gonna be the one paying for this. Nhi Recap's roommates were still desperately making excuses. The pants, shoes and bag, he's already worn them. How could they still be that expensive? For all this second-hand stuff, the whole outfit is worth 20k max. Liu Yanran actually scoffed at that. That price is already Brother Chen cutting you some slack. The official retail for this bag is 470.0. It's a limited drop. Even if you pay double to build a purchase history, you still can't get it. The resale value online is already flipped to $1 million. His pants are brand new, the latest release this season. This is literally the first time he's wearing them. Billionaire was staring daggers at me. She didn't know why, but she felt like ever since I fell in the water, I wasn't looking at her the same way I used to. Jibota glanced at his 3 roommates. He was still gonna need them to be his wingmen later, so he obviously couldn't let them turn on him now. It's only 700k or so. Bai Ningbing has the money to pay it off anyway. In the future, I can easily finesse this money back from Bai Ningbing. Jibota wiped his tears and said, "They're my friends. I invited them here. I should be the one to take responsibility. I only have 10-0 in my savings. Chenshin, I never realized you were so obsessed with money. I'll transfer my savings to you first, and I'll write you an IOU for the rest. No need." Bai Ningbing wrote a check for 1 million and handed it to me. She was low-key fuming right now, but didn't know who to take this random anger out on. Jibota was just so naive, totally clueless about everything, and his friends were just naive guys who didn't understand high society rules. Obviously, she couldn't blame them. The only person left to blame was me, Gu Chen. I never expected you to be such a gold digger. Bai Ningbing sneered. Maybe for you, money and status are the most important things in life. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gone abroad in the first place. I was speechless, like, obviously, without money, could a brain-dead CEO like you still be standing here acting tough? I'm built different from the original owner. I've actually survived through the struggle, so I know exactly what matters most in life. Just transmigrated over, and I've already secured a 1 million check. I definitely wasn't in the mood to stay here and argue with these clowns. I dragged it out and said slowly, if I can't get an apology, getting paid is a pretty good alternative. An apology might be fake anyway, but cash is real. Dropping that mic, I walked away. Liu Yanran gave Bai Ningbing a look. Ningbing a look. Go ahead and believe them if you want. I think your brain is literally waterlogged. Liu Yanran quickly caught up with me. Chenshin, let me give you a ride home. Liu Yanran added, it's super late. You need go home, take a hot shower, and change. This 1 million is honestly pocket change, but watching them squirm was so satisfying. Wait, 1 million is pocket change. Liu Yanran went on, it's decent for use. But didn't you say your trophy wife gave you a black card? As long as you don't bother her for no reason, you can literally swipe 20 million a month, and she wouldn't care. Ningbing is just blinded by Jibota right now. One day, she'll realize you're the one she actually likes. Once you secure that divorce, you can totally marry Ningbing. The fact that the original owner actually had a wife in the novel was something I had almost completely forgotten about, because she honestly had zero presence in the story, and was actually in a social tier even higher than the male lead. In the late stages of the book, when the original owner died, she literally didn't care at all. She even ended up being the VIP patron who helped the male lead out, giving him a massive boost. Basically, acting as the final boss stepping stone for his career. 20 million a month. Why on earth would I divorce a walking ATM? In the original book, the owner had an arranged marriage with this big boss CEO. They didn't even live together. Basically, separated 24/7. They only ever linked up for important public events. Stepping out of the car, I was absolutely shook by the look of the villa. I never expected that I'd be living in a mega mansion all by myself. I seriously couldn't understand why the original owner threw away his perfect rich boy life to go be a massive simp for the male lead. When the villa's butler saw me, a brief look of surprise crossed his face, but he still welcomed me in. Sir, you've returned. Hearing that title, suddenly, it felt super weird, like I was acting in a drama or something. To keep from breaking character and making people suspicious, I just gave a slight nod and didn't say much. After getting back to my room, I let out a long sigh of relief. Whatever, since I'm already in this book's world. If I can't go back, I'll just avoid doing what the original owner did. I'll stay as far away from the male and female leads as possible, and just live my own life. Gotta avoid that miserable ending he had. Since I'm here, might as well make the best of it. The original owner's phone was surprisingly waterproof. It actually still worked. The second I turned it on, I got a text from Bai Ningbing. Gu Chen, you really need to reflect on your actions today. I remember you never used to be this obsessed with money. Is this guy sick in the head? I couldn't be bothered to reply. I scrolled through the contacts, realizing I still didn't know the name of the boss CEO who gave the original owner that limitless card. Flipping through, None of the names really stood out to me until I saw one saved simply as Liu. Then it clicked. I remembered this big shot was from the Liu family in Rongsheng, a top-tier, ultra-rich family. The pool water today smelled so strongly of chlorine, so I went to take a shower. I was so exhausted. I passed out the second my head hit the pillow. Liu Ruyan walked in from outside. As soon as Butler Li saw her return, he quickly went over. "Madam, sir, actually came back today." A young woman dropped him off. In Liu Ruyan's cold, narrow eyes, there wasn't much emotion. She merely nodded. Butler Li knew that the madam and sir had zero feelings for each other. They had always lived apart, and sir rarely came to this residence. He didn't know why. In the middle of the night, I woke up feeling super thirsty. I groggily went looking for water. Going down the stairs, I saw a figure, and without thinking, I grabbed onto them. "Excuse me, where's the fridge?" Before the person could answer, I heard a cough. "Sir, please follow me. Madam needs to rest." I looked up and saw a face with incredibly deep, beautiful features. Unlike that flashy rich girl Bing, her vibe was totally unreadable, even though her eyes were icy cold. She gave off a very grounded, steady energy. Liu Ruyan took my wrists and removed my hand from her arm. "The kitchen is just ahead." I pulled back slightly. Liu Ruyan smiled faintly. "The temperature in the room is low. Walking barefoot on the floor isn't good for your health." "Thanks." I glanced at her again. If I'm guessing right, this person right in front of me is the big boss, at the top of the food chain in this book. Why doesn't she have that wicked, arrogant, domineering vibe at all? Instead, she seems somewhat elegant and gentle, like a breath of fresh spring air. I grabbed a bottle of ice water from the fridge, twisted the cap off, and took a sip. I looked at the butler next to me. "Why did Madame Liu come back so late?" Butler Li's answer was perfectly diplomatic. "Madam is always very busy with work. It's quite late. Sir, you should go back to your room and rest." All right, I headed back to the room, a little worried. Am I gonna have to share a room with this big boss tonight? The book said they had no feelings for each other, didn't get along, and mostly lived apart. But it didn't specifically mention the sleeping arrangements. I pushed the bedroom door open. Luckily, the room was empty. He still had his own walk-in closet. The next morning, after washing up, I threw on a white shirt and black pants, and went downstairs. Liu Ruyan was just getting ready for breakfast. I was feeling kinda hungry too, so I just sat right down. Butler Li looked at Liu Ruyan, then back at the sir sitting there. Honestly, Butler Li thought sir's looks were absolutely flawless. Even if you added up all the rich boys in Rongsheng, none of them were as handsome as Guo Chen. Too bad their madam was totally immune to good looks. From start to finish, she just treated Sir Ri like a pretty vase she could take out for show. A decoration. Butler Li knew perfectly well that Liu Ruyan wasn't thrilled about my arrival yesterday, but, out of basic courtesy, she didn't show it. So, who has to play the bad guy? Obviously, the hard-working, million-a-year salary Butler Li. Butler Li coughed. "Sir, what time will you be heading back today? I'll arrange for a driver." I blanked for a second. "Head back? Back where, what? Isn't this my house?" My brain started turning. The original owner and the big boss usually lived apart. Could this be the big boss's place? Yesterday, that idiot Lu Yanra must have dropped me off at the big boss's turf. I'll head back home around noon today. Holding my glass of milk, I downed the whole thing. Then, I slathered some butter and blueberry jam on a piece of toast. After finishing one slice, I started munching on the delicious, pan-fried sausages and cherry tomatoes. Right then, I noticed that Butler Li and Liu Ruyan were looking at me kinda funny. If I recall correctly, the original owner is just a regular guy, right? Not a male celeb or something. Is it really that weird for a normal guy to eat this much for breakfast? Butler Li chuckled. "Sir has quite an appetite today." If Butler Li remembered right, the sir of the house was notoriously picky with food to keep his physique and skin absolutely perfect. He usually downed a ton of beauty supplements and only ever took a few bites during actual meals. The amount I just ate was more than his past 3 meals combined. I casually said I was dieting before, but recently figured I didn't need to anymore. Butler Lee asked, "Did Sir go through a breakup?" That was a super weird question, especially since he asked it right in front of the actual wife. But Liu Ruyan didn't seem to mind. Instead, she looked at me with an amused glint in her eye. "Sir went through a breakup." I was speechless. How was I supposed to answer that? How does everyone know I've been relentlessly simping for Nangbing? I awkwardly replied, "No, just realized being healthy is a better look." The driver took me home, and I immediately hit up my bro Jiang Yubai to go shopping. When I got back, I collapsed onto the sofa, totally drained. Right as I laid down, I got a message from Butler Lai. "Sir, the Liu family dinner is in 2 days. Madam suddenly asked that you accompany her." Family dinner. The original book was mostly focused on the angsty romance between the male and female leads. I literally knew absolutely nothing about the big boss's family dynamics, other than knowing the Liu family had a super hardcore old lady. I had zero clues. I immediately DM'd Yubai. "Do you know anything about the inside workings of the Liu family?" Jiang Yubai. "The Liu family is a super secretive, top-tier wealthy family. I have no idea." Jiang Yubai's family is definitely rich. This young master dropping tens of millions every year is like chump change to him. But compared to a titan family like the Lias, it's a whole different league. I violently scratched my head. What am I supposed to do when the time comes? I'm literally not gonna recognize a single soul. Can I take a rain check? I tentatively hinted to Butler Lai that I was super busy lately and probably couldn't make it. Butler Lee, madam said, "Sir must fulfill his duties. If not, your monthly allowance will be docked." "How much per deduction?" 20 million per deduction. Butler Lee added, "If this month's allowance runs out, we'll start docking next month's." Butler Lee honestly had no idea why madam suddenly dropped this rule. Usually for Liu family dinners, unless the matriarch was there, she'd always just go solo. But this time, she actually told him to inform Gu Chen to tag along. I instantly deflated. Just then, my phone rang. I grabbed it and answered. Through the speaker came a super cringe, vocal fry voice. "Gu Shen, I got into a fight with Boda again." I was already in a foul mood, and hearing this pick-me girl's voice made it worse. Get lost. Dropping that, I hung up. On the other end, Bai Nangbing was totally shook. Was this even the Gu Chen she knew? In the past, whenever she fought with Ji Boda, I'd always instantly rush to her side to be her gentle emotional support. In Bai Nangbing's eyes, Ji Boda was a super innocent and fragile boy. Sometimes, he'd throw totally unreasonable tantrums, materially speaking, even though Ji Boda always claimed he wanted to be independent. In reality, most of the time, he completely relied on her. His whole family lived off her handouts. See, this gave Bai Nangbing a massive ego boost. As a woman, this feeling of absolute control was something she couldn't get from me. But Ji Boda definitely had his flaws, like not understanding her social circle, or understanding her lifestyle at all. During the day, Bai Nangbing wanted to network and get some intel, so she took a few friends out. She footed the entire bill, dropping around 700 to 800 ka. Ji Boda completely lost it when he heard the amount. He sourly said his dad couldn't save that much in a lifetime. But Bai Nangbing just popped a few bottles and blew his dad's life savings. Bai Nangbing was even more pissed. She was spending her own money to build connections. What did that have to do with Ji Boda's dad? They got into a huge fight, and both gave each other the silent treatment. Bai Nangbing's bestie, Song Yaoji, was dumbfounded. "Gu Shen actually hung up on you. Didn't he used to desperately wait for your calls?" Bai Nangbing honestly had no idea what was happening. She was getting super anxious, feeling like everything she used to control was slowly slipping out of her grasp. She wanted Ji Boda as her boyfriend to satisfy her ego and make her look good. But she also couldn't let go of a handsome, high-class first love like me. Who knows what's going through his head? Lately he's acting like he's on crazy pills. Bai Nangbing aggressively took a swig of her drink. These men are literally impossible to read. Song Yaoji piped up. "Wait, do you still need Gu Chen? Don't forget his wife is Liu Rian, a top-tier boss nobody else can even reach." Nangbing Whatever insider tea you want to know. Liu Ruyan definitely knows. Just sweet talk Gu Chen a little bit, and he'll definitely be your obedient simp. Hearing that name, Bai Ningbing felt pretty intimidated. I bet Gu Chen acting like this is 100% just to get your attention. Some guys, to attract you, will deliberately act distant and pretend they don't want anything to do with you. Hearing Song Yaoji's theory, Bai Ningbing instantly bought it. She knew it, given how obsessed I was with her. There's no way I could just move on that easily. But I still think Boda is a really good guy. Song Yaoji, Boda is awesome. He's not materialistic at all. Even if you went totally bankrupt one day, he'd definitely be down to go begging with you. Do you think Gu Chen could ever do something so noble? Bai Ningbing, that's so true. Boda is a great. He doesn't want anything from me. He just wants me to treat him right. Song Yaoji, exactly. Plus, Ji Boda is so vibrant. Not like Gu Chen. He's literally just a clout-chasing gold digger. He married into the Liu family for money, and wasn't even willing to stay single for you. After hearing Song Yaoji, Bai Ningbing had absolutely zero regrets about being with Ji Boda. Jiang Yubai's friend group was entirely built through her girlfriend. Everyone was super tight with her girlfriend. Her girlfriend Gunianchi was an actress. She was kinda pretty, but basically a nobody. She only ever played second or third leads in trashy C-list productions. Gunianchi looked at the massive, gorgeous cake in the center and said, "Should we cut the cake now? Which bakery did you order such a huge cake from?" Jiang Yubai smiled. "My family's nanny made it. She prepped it for a long time. I have another friend. He'll be here in a sec." Gunianchi scoffed. "What other friends do you even have?" She totally didn't believe Jiang Yubai could make any decent friends. She was so basic and awkward, and literally couldn't read the room to save her life. Ever since Gunianchi entered showbiz, her expenses skyrocketed, but she had zero fame and zero fans, so she barely made any money. That's exactly when she met Jiang Yubai. Hearing that Jiang Yubai was a rich second-gen, Gunianchi hatched a plan. After chasing her for half a month, she successfully bagged her. Sure enough, Jiang Yubai was super generous. In just a short time, she dropped hundreds of thousands on clothes and accessories for her. Whenever she acted broke, Jiang Yubai would just wire her massive red envelopes. The venue for Jiang Yubai's birthday party today was a hotel. She was eagerly waiting for me to arrive, and that's when she spotted Ji Boda. Ji Boda was acting all lovey-dovey with Bai Ningbing as they walked out of a hotel room, even though the waitstaff repeatedly insisted the banquet hall was privately booked. Bai Ningbing arrogantly demanded to bring Ji Boda in for breakfast. Last night, Song Yaoji tricked Ji Boda into thinking Bai Ningbing was sleeping with another guy at the hotel. Ji Boda instantly assumed Bai Ningbing was hooking up with me, so he rushed over in a panic. Who knew Bai Ningbing was in the hotel room all alone? The two of them were basically glued together all night. Bai Ningbing was super satisfied. She'd known me for so long, since our school days. Back in school, Bai Ningbing saw me as this elegant, untouchable first love. She hadn't even hugged me once. We literally had zero physical contact. But after reuniting with Ji Boda, within just a few days, the two of them rolled into bed together. Ji Boda's performance in bed made Bai Ningbing very happy, so today she decided to treat Ji Boda to a massive feast in the banquet hall. Seeing the two of them walk in, Jiang Yubai was super annoyed. "This is my birthday party. I didn't invite you. What are you doing here?" Jiang Yubai remembered that I absolutely despised Ji Boda. Whatever I hated, Jiang Yubai hated too. Bai Ningbing heard this and couldn't help but ask Jiang Yubai, "You're hosting your birthday here, so why did you do that back then?" Ji Boda remembered Jiang Yubai, my devoted lackey. She spread rumors everywhere that he was working as a gigolo, completely ruining his reputation in front of family and friends. He always loved to put on this act of being a generous, elegant first love. As for my usual vibe, Ji Boda copied it 100 red. Deep down, Ji Boda hated Jiang Yubai to the core. But on the surface, he still put on a super magnanimous act. Ningbing, you don't need to question him anymore. I've already forgotten about that incident. The more understanding and magnanimous Ji Boda acted, the more Bai Nangbing's heart ached for him. Her eyes shot daggers. Speak! Why did you spread rumors behind his back? Gu Nianqi and her friends had seen Miss Bai of the Bai family in newspapers and media before. Seeing that Miss Bai and Jiang Yubai had beef, they all immediately backed away, terrified of getting dragged into the crossfire. Ji Boda bit his lip. It definitely wasn't his fault. Chenshin must have put her up to this. Yang Yubai glared furiously at Ji Boda. I did it myself. You literally got plastic surgery to copy Chenshin's face. So what if I look down on you? Ji Boda touched his own face, looking so wrong that tears were about to fall. He immediately looked at Bai Nangbing. Nangbing. I didn't. Just as they were deadlocked, I walked in from outside. I was wearing a beige tailored suit, accessorized with pearl earrings and a necklace. The lustrous pearls were almost as flawlessly white as my skin, making me look incredibly ethereal and out of this world. Ji Boda's eyes swept over my earrings. Then, my necklace. He felt a wave of sour jealousy. Ever since he found out the price tag of my clothes and jewelry last time, he became increasingly obsessed with comparing himself to me. He was actually determined to copy my look, use the best possible appearance to secure Bai Nangbing, and completely replace me. And if he was going to copy, he had to do it right. The necklace around my neck, Ji Boda had seen online before. You could buy a pretty similar knockoff for 100 or 2. The earrings had extremely delicate craftsmanship, so those would be harder to find. Bai Nangbing was also completely captivated by my elegant otherworldly outfit. Her breath hitched. Dressed like this, I was always the most magnetic person in the room, like the moon high up in the sky, forever out of reach for anyone to taint. Involuntarily, Bai Nangbing glanced over at Ji Boda. Ji Boda had rushed over yesterday in a panic, thinking he was catching a cheater. He hadn't put any effort into dressing up at all, and the clothes he threw on looked pretty sloppy. Comparing the two of us, Bai Nangbing felt that I, her untouchable first love, was definitely more charming. I furrowed my brows slightly. What happened? Bai Nangbing pressed her lips together coldly, asked her. Jiang Yubai kept her head down, saying nothing. Bai Nangbing looked at me with a complex expression. She deliberately slandered Boda's reputation in front of everyone. Gu Chen, slap her in the face, and I'll consider this matter unrelated to you. Then, I'll forgive you. I thought to myself, is she psycho? Slap my best friend, who was willing to drive out in the middle of the night to pick me up. All for some girl. In this world, is the male lead brain dead? Or am I brain dead? Jiang Yubai looked at me fearfully. She knew exactly how much I cared about Bai Nangbing. In my eyes, Bai Nangbing was basically my whole world. Me beating her up for Bai Nangbing would be totally normal, right? But today was her birthday. Jiang Yubai saw me raise my hand and squeezed her eyes shut in fear. But all I did was raise my hand and gently pat Jiang Yubai's shoulder. Don't get mad over irrelevant people. Yubai, today is your birthday. Happy birthday. Jiang Yubai was stunned. I looked coldly at Bai Nangbing. Do you really love hitting people that much? Bai Nangbing was furious. My tone was light. Your forgiveness, compared to my friend, is an absolute joke. Today is Jiang Yubai's birthday. If she didn't invite you, you can get out. Bai Nangbing couldn't believe her ears. I was actually kicking her out. And from the look on my face, I was dead serious. I wasn't joking around. Bai Nangbing snapped. Are you crazy? Treating me like this over some lackey? A mocking smirk played on my lip. I stared right at Bai Nangbing, my eyes full of disdain and ridicule. I spoke nonchalantly, with a hint of sarcasm. Yeah, I am crazy. What, is Miss Bai only realizing that now? Hearing that, Bai Nangbing's expression actually softened a bit. She raised an eyebrow, seemingly surprised by my bluntness. I continued my taunt, my eyes completely indifferent. It was exactly because I was crazy that I was so devoted to you back then. Now that I'm sober, I obviously won't fall for your lies anymore. Bai Nangbing's face instantly darkened again. Her face was stony as she glared at me intently. Ji Boda finally couldn't hold back. Gu Chen, don't cross the line. His eyes were slightly red. like he was ready to drop tears at any second. How can you speak to Bai Ningbing like that? Hearing that, I just let out a cold laugh. I turned to look at Jibota, looked him up and down, and a peculiar glint flashed in my eyes. Honestly, Jibota's face really did have a slight resemblance to mine. With the right makeup and styling, the similarity would be even stronger. Watching someone else try so hard to copy you would make any normal person feel pretty uncomfortable. I said flatly, Mr. G, I'm not Bai Ningbing. Your little playing hard to get act doesn't work on me. Jibota froze at my words. His face went pale instantly. He bit his lip, looking like he wanted to argue back. But, in the end, he just silently followed Bai Ningbing and left the moment they were gone. Jiang Yubai's friends all rushed over. Gunianchi recognized Bai Ningbing, the heiress of the Bai family. She had seen her on the news and knew the Bai family name. The fact that I dared to mock those two really shocked Gunianchi, and it made her guess that my background must be pretty massive too. Gunianchi looked at Jiang Yubai, then at me. Jiang Yubai, is this that friend of yours? A flash of amazement crossed Gunianchi's eyes. Honestly, even after being in showbiz for so long, and seeing tons of A-list male stars, my looks and aura were still the most unforgettable she had ever seen. Jiang Yubai's heart was full of guilt. She knew how important Bai Ningbing was to me, under normal circumstances. For Bai Ningbing's sake, I should have absolutely lost it on her just now. But, in such a critical moment, I actually chose her over Bai Ningbing. Jiang Yubai felt like she would literally feel guilty for the rest of her life. She lowered her head. Shenshin, I'm so sorry. I should have just let you hit me earlier. I was speechless. Does our villainous sidekick squad really have to be this miserable? Looking at Jiang Yubai, I couldn't help but laugh softly. Jiang Yubai, hitting people gets you locked up by the cops. Don't stress over it. Bai Ningbing telling me to do that was just trying to ruin me. It's not your fault. My words were laced with amusement, clearly just trying to comfort Jiang Yubai. But she totally bought it. Really? I nodded. Really? Jiang Yubai's mood instantly brightened, and she called me over to cut the cake together. Gunianchi couldn't stop checking me out, her eyes practically gleaming with predatory interest. She proactively grabbed a slice of cake and handed it to me. Your name is Gu Chen, right? I'm Jiang Yubai's girlfriend. Let's add each other on WeChat. I just said. I didn't bring my phone. Today, Gunianchi had brought a massive gift box. When she opened it, inside was a huge bouquet of fake flowers, the kind you get on Taobao for 99 bucks. Free shipping included. The gifts from Gunianchi's friends to Jiang Yubai were basically the same tier. Cheap, free shipping garbage. Either low-quality knockoff, perfume, or tacky, neon red lipstick and eyeshadow sets. Seeing this, Jiang Yubai's wide smile stiffened a bit. She wasn't actually stupid. She could tell when people were just being perfunctory. The gifts Jiang Yubai used to give them were all luxury items worth tens of thousands. But if these people didn't show up, and I didn't show up, her birthday would have been completely lonely. I gave Jiang Yubai a fully diamond-encrusted necklace, and it was the latest drop from that brand. Opening my gift box, Jiang Yubai was pretty surprised. She really loved this brand's jewelry, and didn't expect me to actually remember. Gunianchi looked a little thirsty. Wow. This must be super expensive, right? I smiled lightly. It's all right. When you give a gift, it obviously has to match the person. Gunianchi pretended not to catch my shade. My mom loves this brand's necklaces too. Too bad I'm broke and can't afford one for her. I said, well then, you should hustle harder and make money to buy your mom one. And after you buy one for your mom, don't forget your girlfriend. A real man should be independent and self-reliant. Right, Jiang Yubai. Jiang Yubai inexplicably felt like I was making total sense, and nodded heavily. Gunianchi froze for a second. She realized this friend of Jiang Yubai's was no joke, not someone easily fooled. So she didn't say anything else. Bai Ningbing still couldn't believe I would publicly disrespect her in front of so many people. But, for some reason, thinking about how I just acted, she felt a slight flutter in her chest. She thought that version of me seemed even cooler. Jibota chased after her, looking at her with red eyes. Ningbing. Bai Ningbing instantly snapped out of it. What was she thinking? She already had Jibota. Only a pure, flawless guy, like Jibota, who relied on her entirely, was her perfect match. And, honestly, even though Boda wasn't as refined as me, he still looked kinda like me, didn't he? I had ditched her back then, for my studies. And now I married another woman for money. I was already a tainted man. A guy like G. Boda, who cared nothing for a career or money, and only loved her, was the one she truly deserved. G. Boda looked at Bai Ningbing with tears welling up. Ningbing, you still like him, don't you? If you like him, then I'll step aside. You two should be together. I don't want anything. As long as you're happy. Bai Ningbing's heart ached, and she pulled him into a hug. What are you thinking? You silly boy, the one I like is you. He's just a vain, toxic guy. G. Boda added, but he's so elegant and handsome. Standing next to him, I feel like an ugly duckling. The jewelry and clothes he wore today, I'll never be able to afford. Bai Ningbing pulled him into her Ferrari. You deserve the best. If you wore that stuff, you'd definitely look even more handsome. That night, Jiang Yubai and I left the hotel together. Walking into the hotel lobby, I ran into G. Boda and Bai Ningbing again. I looked down at my own outfit, then looked over at G. Boda. He was wearing the exact same beige tailored suit, the exact same pearl earrings and necklace. Even a hardcore cosplayer couldn't get it this accurate. The moment G. Boda saw me, like a little white rabbit, he hid behind Bai Ningbing. Jiang Yubai was so annoyed seeing G. Boda copying me, secretly getting plastic surgery on his eyes, nose, and mouth to look like me was one thing, but wearing the exact same clothes and jewelry. Did this guy have zero personal style? Jiang Yubai rolled up her sleeves. Chen, that little rat is copying you again. I'm gonna beat him up. I pulled Jiang Yubai back. Although in the original text, Jiang Yubai acted as my enforcer many times, doing the dirty work of bullying G. Boda. For me, the toxic first love. But in real life, seeing such a cute, sweet girl wanting to throw hands, I was still pretty surprised. Forget it. I gave G. Boda a look. Don't stoop to his level. In the original text, after Du Yuchen died miserably, G. Boda's hemorrhoids flared up. Bai Ningbing was worried that Jiang Yubai, this toxic woman, would try to avenge me by targeting G. Boda while he was dealing with his hemorrhoids. So, she decided to strike first, and ordered a hit and run on Jiang Yubai. The original text described it as a night with heavy rain and heavy traffic. After Jiang Yubai was killed, no one found her body all night. When she was finally discovered the next day, it was so gruesome, her identity was barely recognizable. Her parents were away on a business trip abroad at the time. By the time they got back, the driver who hit Jiang Yubai was nowhere to be found. They could only let her die unjustly. Everyone who was close to me either ended up in jail, or died, tragically, without exception. That was the ending for all of them. I didn't know if the plot would still follow the original book's trajectory, if it was like the original book, and all the plot armor was concentrated on G. Boda and Bai Ningbing. Then the fate of myself and my close friends would definitely be absolutely brutal. The only thing I could do was stay far away from this psycho couple. Bai Ningbing saw how terrified G. Boda was, and couldn't help but pull him protectively behind her. She looked at G. Boda, then looked at me. For some reason, when the two of us wore different clothes, or when G. Boda only had one or two things that matched my style, Bai Ningbing felt like G. Boda looked a lot like me. But when the two of us dressed exactly the same, Bai Ningbing actually felt they weren't that similar after all. Comparing the two, it was like comparing a cheap, knockoff doll to a completely handcrafted, exquisitely beautiful porcelain doll. Bai Ningbing felt a flash of irritation, but kept her face incredibly haughty. Boda, I think you look way better in this outfit. Yeah, Miss Bai has such great taste. I replied. I don't know why, but Bai Ningbing felt like that sentence was mocking her directly. I drove home, deep in thought, the entire way. I honestly had no idea how to handle the Liu family dinner. Right as I pulled into the parking garage, my phone suddenly rang. An unknown number. An unfamiliar voice came through the line. Hello, is this brother-in-law? The woman's voice continued. Sister Liu is at the hotel. She needs you to come over and help her out. Half an hour later, I was back at the exact same hotel. I took a deep breath and knocked on the door of the room the woman told me. A moment later, the door opened. Liu Ruyan was only wearing a bathrobe. Clear water droplets were running down her long hair. Her expression was inexplicably gloomy, and her stunning features carried an indescribable coldness. "Why are you here?" Liu Ruyan asked. "Didn't you have your friend call me and tell me to come over?" Hearing that, Liu Ruyan seemed to realize something. For a split second, her expression was terrifying, but she quickly reverted to her usual gentle aloofness. "I see." With a click, the hotel room door locked from the inside. Liu Ruyan's phone rang, and the voice of the woman I just spoke to came through. "Sister Liu, that was H. It's the newest type of drug. I was worried the shot wouldn't fully clear it out, so I specifically called brother-in-law over. Remember to open the door for him. I know you think other guys are dirty, but brother-in-law is fine, right? As for the guy who drugged you, just watch how I handle him." I heard every single word, loud and clear. I immediately turned to leave, but the next second, Liu Ruyan pinned my wrist against the door. Her voice was low and dangerous. "Sir, you're already here. You still think you can leave? I don't want to be turned into a human antidote for no reason," I said. Liu Ruyan looked me up and down carefully. It was still the same face, but the subtle micro-expressions were completely different from the old me. The current me was way more vibrant, looking at this once incredibly fake face, now showing hints of caution and curiosity. Liu Ruyan inexplicably found it amusing. Liu Ruyan said, "Tomorrow morning, I have a super important meeting, so I absolutely need to get my sleep tonight. You'll watch over me all night. If anything happens, call this number." He's a doctor. Stay up all night. "But I'm human too. I get sleepy too," I protested. Liu Ruyan replied, "If you can't do it, say goodbye to next month's 20 million. Can you handle that, sir? It's just pulling an all-nighter. No big deal. You just sleep soundly." "I'll keep watch all night," I said. Liu Ruyan gave a gentle smile. She was already drop-dead gorgeous, and smiling like this made her even more captivating. But by the time 2:30 a.m. rolled around, I seriously couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. My eyelids were literally fighting each other, and without realizing it, I slumped over by the bedside and passed out. When Liu Ruyan woke up, it was already 7 a.m. The bright morning sunlight was streaming in from outside, filling the room with a soft golden glow. She felt like there was something pressing down heavily on her chest. Looking down, she saw the boy sleeping soundly. His long hair fell softly over his shoulders. My eyelashes were exceptionally long, so long they seemed to tug at people's heartstrings. My lips were a simple cherry pink, looking incredibly kissable. For some reason, that thought suddenly flashed through Liu Ruyan's mind. She gave a self-mocking smirk. She was usually so detached. Maybe the dose of the drug she was hit with yesterday was just too strong, and it still hadn't fully worn off. The moment she moved slightly, I snapped awake. My brain was entirely focused on next month's 20 million allowance, so I had been sleeping super lightly. As soon as I opened my eyes, I suddenly locked eyes with Liu Ruyan's narrow phoenix-like eyes. I panicked. I actually fell asleep, and I got caught by the big boss. Morning. My voice was super quiet, and I sounded guilty as hell. Liu Ruyan gave a half-smile. My eyes landed on her revealing bathrobe. I could faintly see her insane curves, which was super distracting. "Your body is amazing," I blurted out. Liu Ruyan's smile stiffened. She pulled her bathrobe tightly shut, and then headed to the bathroom. I finally let out a sigh of relief. If the boss didn't mention docking my pay, that means I'm safe, right? A little while later, the hotel room doorbell rang. I went to open the door, and saw a serious-looking woman in business attire. "Sir, these are clothes for you and President Liu," the woman said. I figured she was probably Liu Ruyan's assistant or secretary, so I took the two massive boxes from her. One was a blue box, and the other was a black box. I figured the black box was Liu Ruyan's, so I placed it on the bed and called out towards the bathroom. "Miss Liu, your assistant brought over an outfit for you," I said. The person inside was probably taking a shower. I could hear the running water super clearly from out here. A slightly cold voice came back. "Just leave it out there." I definitely wasn't used to wearing yesterday's clothes either. After sleeping in them all night, the outfit I had on was completely wrinkled. I opened the box the assistant brought for me. and took a look at the clothes inside. It was a high-collar suit, with an elegant understated color, and flawless tailoring. The pattern on the tie was incredibly intricate, looking insanely luxurious. Besides the suit, there was also a whole set of accessories. You could tell these accessories cost a fortune. Liu Ruian quickly came out of the bathroom. She grabbed the women's suit that the assistant brought and changed into it. When she walked out, she was rocking a red-hot couture suit. Standing at 17 meters, her aura was absolutely commanding. That outfit is for you. Go inside and change. The jewelry set is yours too. Liu Ruian said. You're giving me the jewelry too? I was totally shocked. A hint of amusement appeared in Liu Ruian's narrow eyes. Your reward for last night. Can I ask how much it's worth? I asked. 40 million? Liu Ruian replied. Our top-tier billionaires always this extra. I went and changed into the clothes and accessories, and styled all my hair back. The moment I stepped out, Liu Ruian's eyes paused on me. I rarely wore Western-style clothing in my daily life, let alone a tailored suit like this. But my proportions and vibe actually suited it perfectly. The high-collar design highlighted my long, elegant neck. The tie pattern was exquisite and delicate, as if studded with tiny pearls, giving off a classic, sophisticated aesthetic. I had just washed my face with plain water, so I had zero foundation or lipstick on. But, honestly, it was the perfect look right now. Liu Ruian knew very well that, if I went back to put on makeup, it would actually be too flashy and distracting. It's about time. Let's head to the restaurant for breakfast first. Liu Ruian and I had literally just sat down. Yu Chen, what are you doing here? Bai Ningbing shrieked. Bai Ningbing had come down for breakfast with Ji Boda, and spotted me instantly. I turned to look, and Liu Ruian followed my gaze. At this point, Liu Ruian had never actually met Bai Ningbing in person, but she definitely knew the name, and knew she was the girl I was supposedly obsessed with. My heart dropped. I absolutely could not let Liu Ruian know right now that I was completely over Bai Ningbing. If Liu Ruian figured out I didn't like Bai Ningbing anymore, not only might she suspect I was an imposter, she might even think I was trying to catch feelings for her. And a woman like Liu Ruian absolutely hated clingy guys. My suit today was serving major looks. Just sitting there, almost everyone's eyes were involuntarily drawn to me. Bai Ningbing was totally mesmerized too. She felt a vague sense of anticipation in her heart, but also irritation. Are you waiting here for me on purpose? Bai Ningbing demanded. As a guy, Ji Boda immediately noticed the woman sitting across from me instead. Ji Boda originally thought Bai Ningbing was already the peak of female beauty, but after seeing Liu Ruian, he realized Bai Ningbing couldn't even compare. Liu Ruian's voice was cold and indifferent. Chen, who are these two? Only then did Bai Ningbing notice Liu Ruian. The second she laid eyes on Liu Ruian, Bai Ningbing's guard instantly went up. She could tell this woman was a force to be reckoned with though. Bai Ningbing spoke up. My name is Bai Ningbing. I'm Gu Chen's friend. This is my boyfriend, Ji Boda. Bai Ningbing. Liu Ruian repeated her name, her eyes darkening slightly. Liu Ruian. I am Chen's wife. Bai Ningbing froze completely. This young woman was actually Liu Ruian. Before this, Bai Ningbing had assumed Liu Ruian was one of those rich, greasy old women with a beer belly. She never expected her to be this incredibly beautiful and young. Sitting next to me, we actually looked like the ultimate power couple. Ji Boda had heard people talk about Liu Ruian too. Everyone said my wife was worth hundreds of billion. A massive boss who could flip Rongcheng upside down. He used to think the exact same thing as Bai Ningbing, assuming I was just a clout chaser who married a crusty, ugly middle-aged woman for the bag. Seeing that my wife was actually this stunning and way richer than Bai Ningbing. For some reason, Ji Boda felt insanely jealous. He thought that by copying my every move and stealing the girl I liked, he had already secured the best things in the world. He never imagined I actually had it even better. Ji Boda quickly spoke up. Miss Liu, it's an honor. We've all heard your name. You actually married Chen. At first, we were all super shocked. Because you're such an outstanding top-tier woman, we all felt that Chen wasn't good enough for you, truly living up to his image as our naive, innocent, and adorable little toy boy. The male lead's words were so desperate to please the big boss, opening his mouth just to spit out non-stop pick-me flattery. Liu Ruyan said indifferently, Chen Chen is a good boy. If anyone isn't good enough, it's me who isn't good enough for him. Ji Boda's heart grew even more sour with jealousy. He now felt that Liu Ruyan had way more class than Bai Ningbing, and was way better at catering to a man's feelings. Because usually when someone in front of Bai Ningbing complained that Ji Boda wasn't good enough for her, Bai Ningbing would never defend him. Bai Ningbing's face had been dark and stormy this whole time. She noticed that my eyes hadn't landed on her for even a second. Plus, this high-collar suit I was wearing covered me up completely from top to bottom, making her inevitably suspect. What exactly went down last night between Liu Ruyan and me at the hotel? Bai Ningbing didn't even touch her breakfast and stormed right out of the restaurant. Seeing this, Ji Boda quickly chased after her like a lapdog. I stared at Bai Ningbing's disappearing figure, putting on an act of looking lost and heartbroken. No matter what, in front of Liu Ruyan, even if I was just faking it, I had to keep up the simp persona and pretend to still like Bai Ningbing. Liu Ruyan gave a half-smile and said, so she's the woman you like. I nodded and said, we've known each other for many years. Very basic, Liu Ruyan commented, hitting the nail on the head. Sir is extremely handsome, but your taste in women is terrible, Liu Ruyan continued. She was speaking facts, so I couldn't even argue back. After finishing breakfast, Liu Ruyan stood up and said, let's go. I followed her and got into her red Bentley. Liu Ruyan focused on driving the whole way and didn't say a word to me. Half an hour later, we arrived at the Liu family estate. At this very moment, I finally realized just how insane the Liu family's wealth was. Following Liu Ruyan through the courtyard gates, I walked beside her in my tailored suit, actually matching the extravagant surroundings perfectly. Miss Liu, I called out. Liu Ruyan immediately corrected, in front of others, used my first name. I quickly corrected myself. Liu Ruyan, I'm not really familiar with your family members. Liu Ruyan gave a half-smile. Is your memory really that bad? We literally just came here last month. Are the people here this time the same as last time? Oh right, we came last month. I awkwardly played along. The original book would never write about such trivial filler details. So I honestly had zero clue what the original owner actually did last month. Liu Ruyan watched my guilty reaction, her eyes darkening. The last time she brought me here was actually for our wedding. I genuinely didn't know too many people in the Liu family, but teasing me like a stray kitten seemed to be pretty entertaining for her. The Liu family servants walked over. The servants here wore matching black uniforms, looking super disciplined and professional. They very politely addressed her as Miss Liu. Hearing them talk felt like being in a cheesy drama. I was kinda wondering if they were going to act like on TV, and bow calling me young master. Luckily, there was no cringe plot like that. These people addressed me as Sir, just like Butler Lil. I followed Liu Ruyan inside. A man in a black mouse suit, around 40-something years old, was sitting in a chair, holding a cup of tea. Standing next to him was a young guy, dressed in a white suit. Looking at this man's vibe, I guessed he must be Liu Ruyan's father, Shu Chen. He smiled warmly at Liu Ruyan. Then his gaze swept over me, and he gave a brief greeting. I could tell just from his tone that this guy definitely didn't like me. As expected, the father-in-law, son-in-law dynamic is always hell modo. Liu Ruyan nodded coldly. Where's grandma? I heard she hasn't been feeling well lately. Shu Chen smiled. She went out fishing early this morning, and won't be back until noon. Your room has been kept clean, so head up and rest first. Gu Chen, since you and Ruyan are married, you need to take good care of her, understand? Shu Chen said to me. I was thinking, what kind of traditional feudal family is this? But since I was collecting Liu Ruyan's massive allowance, I had to nod obediently. Liu Ruyan's tone was still completely cold. Grandpa, we're going to our room to rest. I was absolutely shook. This guy, being Liu Ruyan's dad, already seemed way too young to me. I never expected him to actually be her grandpa. Is rich people anti-aging really this insane? Before my brain could even process it, Liu Ruyan grabbed my hand. I hadn't really held hands with girls much, So the moment she grabbed it, I felt my face heat up a bit. Liu Ruyan's fingers were long and slender, her knuckles well-defined. Her touch was slightly cool, and her hand was a full size smaller than mine, almost completely enveloped by my large hand. Chu Shen and the boy in white, next to him, both glued their eyes to our joined hands. Liu Ruyan pulled me away, heading upstairs. Her tone was suddenly gentle and doting, a complete 180 from how she spoke to Chu Chen. Why aren't you wearing your wedding ring? Where's your diamond ring? Even though the original owner was a married-in husband, he hated admitting his married status. So he had hidden the wedding ring away. As for where it was actually hidden, I had absolutely no clue. I forgot to wear it. I muttered quietly, "If you keep forgetting things this easily, I am going to have to punish you," Liu Ruyan said with a smile. Even though I knew everything Liu Ruyan was doing right now was just an act, and she was just using me as a prop. Being face to face with a woman of such outstanding looks and aura, I couldn't help but zone out for a second. Watching this PDA, Chu Chen's face turned completely dark. The boy in white next to him looked like he was about to burst into tears. He bit his lip hard, his eyes boring holes into Liu Ruyan's back. I followed Liu Ruyan upstairs until we reached a room door. Liu Ruyan pulled the door open, and the door slammed shut with a bang. The moment it closed, Liu Ruyan instantly let go of my hand, and the gentle, doting expression vanished without a trace. "Miss Liu, your grandpa is pretty young," I said. Liu Ruyan replied, "He's not my biological grandfather." "I thought you still remembered that." I awkwardly touched my forehead. I used to remember, but I randomly caught a high fever a while back, and after the fever, some things got a bit blurry. Liu Ruyan quietly watched me put on this act in front of her, but didn't expose me. I thick-skinnedly asked, "Miss Liu, Boss Liu, could you give me a rundown of your family situation?" Liu Ruyan completely ignored me and went straight to the bathroom to wash her hands. I knew big bosses like her were all germaphobes, so obviously she'd wash up after holding a guy's hand. I followed her and said, "Come on, tell me a bit. Since we're just a guy and a girl stuck here bored together, talking would make it less boring." Liu Ruyan said, "There are plenty of other non-boring things a guy and a girl can do together. Would you like to find out, sir?" Right at that tense moment, there was a knock on the door from outside. Liu Ruyan suddenly raised her hand and pulled out the hair tie holding my hair back. Instantly, my hair tumbled down, and a faint shampoo scent brushed past Liu Ruyan's nose. I was super surprised. Before I could even react, Liu Ruyan pinned me against the wall. "Don't move," Liu Ruyan ordered in a low, dangerous voice. Her icy lips brushed past the shell of my ear. My ears instantly turned bright red, and I froze completely. Suddenly, with a click, the door actually opened from the outside. The boy who was just wearing the white suit came in holding a plate of fruit. He walked in, and seeing Liu Ruyan and me in such an intimate position, the fruit plate in his hand suddenly crashed to the floor. "Ruyan, you guys," the boy said, his voice trembling. The boy's tears were like a broken string of pearls, falling uncontrollably. But he still forced himself to finish. "I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring you some fruit. I didn't mean to interrupt you guys." After saying that, the boy picked up the scattered fruit from the floor and ran out crying. I ground my teeth. Liu Ruyan let go of me. If it were the old me, Liu Ruyan wouldn't have bothered going this far with me. Keeping up a superficially friendly facade would have been enough. But now, Liu Ruyan looked at my current expression and gave a silent smile. 20 million. Liu Ruyan softly spat out those words. I instantly acted like someone stepped on my tail, totally faking a thrilled expression against my will. Getting up close and personal with Miss Liu is my absolute honor. Zhang Yida ran out crying, and when he saw Chu Chen, he cried even harder. Ruyan and that guy, they were. Zhang Yida sobbed uncontrollably. Seeing Zhang Yida like this, Chu Shen instantly understood everything. At this Liu family estate, Liu Ruyan rarely came to stay. Zhang Yida practically lived here year-round, acting like he was the young master of the Luoyu family. If Liu Ruyan's door wasn't locked, Zhang Yida would often just knock and barge right in without waiting for permission. If Liu Ruyan and I were just making out, it definitely would have triggered Zhang Yida. He couldn't help but scold Zhang Yida. It's really not a big deal. Is it worth crying like this? They are husband and wife. Whatever they do in their room is totally normal. Zhang Yida covered his face. Why? That guy comes from a low-class background. How is he good enough for Ruyan? Uncle, didn't you say before that their marriage was fake? Chu Chen hadn't expected today's situation either. He thought he knew Liu Ruyan well. Liu Ruyan's parents must have left her with deep trauma. Someone like Liu Ruyan has a super high IQ, is always self-disciplined, and knows exactly what she wants. Under normal circumstances, she shouldn't be getting intimate with any man. Compared to an average family, Gu Chen's family runs a business, and their assets are pretty wealthy. But in the eyes of the Liu family, Gu Chen's family is just a new money household with zero pedigree. For Liu Ruyan to marry a son from that kind of family, she's definitely just manipulating him to oppose him, to avoid Chu Chen using his status as an elder, to arrange a marriage for her. Having just taken a good look at my face, Chu Chen realized I actually did have the looks to attract women. Even some of the most handsome guys Chu Chen had seen couldn't compare to how good-looking I was. For Liu Ruyan to catch feelings for a guy with a face like mine seemed completely normal. Don't worry, Liu Ruyan will definitely divorce this guy. Chu Chen comforted Zhang Yida. You like Liu Ruyan so much. She'll definitely be yours. Yida, wipe your tears first, and get yourself together. Zhang Yida choked back a sob and nodded. He had liked Liu Ruyan for so many years. He definitely wasn't going to give up. That guy surnamed Gu was just an outsider. After Zhang Yida left, I looked at Liu Ruyan with a slightly wicked vibe. Miss Liu, you just touched me again. Are you gonna go wash your hands again? Oh right, you also kinda kissed my ear. Doesn't that mean? I teased. Liu Ruyan said flatly, turns out you're quite the smooth talker. I smugly raised an eyebrow. Say one more word. I knew her next words were gonna be a 20 million threat. So, I quickly put on an act and shut my mouth, mimicking, zipping my lips shut, watching my whole routine. Liu Ruyan gave a cold, faint smirk. That guy who just barged in without knocking. Who was that? I asked. Chu Chen's biological nephew. Young master of the Zhang family, Zhang Yida. Liu Ruyan answered. Watch your back around him. Liu Ruyan gave me a quick heads up. Our relationship was strictly transactional to begin with. We didn't get married because Liu Ruyan liked me. So Liu Ruyan was only responsible for providing the bag. If I got bullied or ran into trouble, I had to rely on my own skills to fix it. Liu Ruyan couldn't be bothered to get involved. Just giving me this warning was already doing me a huge solid. I knew the deal. Don't worry, Miss Liu. I'll fulfill my duties properly, I said. By noon, Liu Ruyan's grandma came back. Old Madame Liu had silvery white hair and looked incredibly stern. She looked to be in her 70s. And standing next to Chu Chen, the two of them didn't look like husband and wife at all. They actually looked more like father and daughter. Chu Chen looked like he was in his early 40s, but he was actually already 50. Old Madame Liu was pushing 80. Back in the day, it was an older woman, younger man marriage. They definitely had a massive age gap. Liu Ruyan also had two aunts. These two aunts were Chu Chen's biological daughters. One was 23, the other 27. Both of them were actually younger than Liu Ruyan, even though they had a higher seniority than Liu Ruyan in the family tree. The Liu family's company was still fully controlled by Liu Ruyan. She called all the shots. After figuring out the Liu family's messy, chaotic family tree, I couldn't help but sigh. As expected of a top-tier wealthy family, an average household definitely couldn't brew up such a messy, twisted web of relationships. I transferred a 20 red envelope to the male servant cleaning the courtyard. He was super grateful. He didn't expect that just by giving the Mrs. Husband a quick rundown of the Liu family situation, he'd be this generous. Compared to the mean-spirited old madam and that whiny young master from the Zhang family, the husband, the Miss Married, actually seemed really easy to get along with. Even though they worked for a rich family, everyone is human, even servants. Also, hope people will give them a little bit of that respect. I lowered my voice. Oh, right. Besides all that, can I also ask, what's the deal with Liu Ruyan's parents? Liu Ruyan is so young. Yet, her parents are gone. It's honestly super weird. I knew I shouldn't randomly go snooping into Liu Ruyan's private life, but I was worried that if someone brought it up, and I was completely clueless, it'd be bad. The male servant was totally spooked, his face changing colors. Is this off limits? The servant looked around and said to me, Sir, the Mrs. Parents passed away many years ago. They died when she was very young. No one in the Liu family dares to bring it up. You better not mention it either. I froze for a second. No one in the Liu family dares to bring it up. All right, since it involves Liu Ruyan's deepest privacy, I didn't want to ask any further. I nodded. After that, I planned to head back to the room. Halfway there, I ran into Zhang Yida. To be honest, Zhang Yida is a pretty handsome guy. If Jibota stood next to Zhang Yida, he probably wouldn't even be fit to tie his shoes. Zhang Yida was wearing a white suit, his short black hair looking sharp and fresh. His face was quite dashing. Too bad his eyes were red and swollen, and the way he looked at me was totally hostile. I was already mentally prepared for this. After all, a massive bag of 20 million now isn't exactly easy money to earn. These past few days, I had been thinking. Zhang Yida walked right up to me. He deliberately lowered his voice, his eyes glaring at me with pure animosity. Is Ruyan blind to fall for a guy from your background? I tilted my head and looked at Zhang Yida. If my intel was correct, the Zhang family wasn't always this prominent, right? Initially, they were even worse off than Gu Chen's family. The young and handsome Xu Chen married old Madame Liu, and old Madame Liu threw all sorts of support at Xu Chen's brothers. With such a massive backer, the Zhang family slowly rose up, and only then did Zhang Yida get to be some noble young master. Zhang Yida was used to throwing his weight around in the Zhang family, habitually acting like he was the young master everywhere. He looked me up and down with a judging gaze, his tone dripping with disdain. If I'm guessing correctly, you're one of those legendary toy boys, right? You used tricks to lock Ruyan down, and now you refuse to let go. You look all refined and polite on the outside, but you're actually completely toxic inside, right? Since I just got here, clashing with Zhang Yida on the very first day would definitely annoy the elders in the family. If my guess is right, Zhang Yida intentionally came to provoke me, probably to drag this drama in front of old Madame Liu. Right then, out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of a slender, elegant figure nearby. All right, since Zhang Yida called me a toy boy, I might as well give him a taste of how a real toy boy acts. I touched my forehead. Young Master Zhang, I'm feeling a little dizzy. Zhang Yida sneered, trying to play the victim in front of me. That trick doesn't work on me. I held my forehead, looking undeniably refined and polite, giving off a fragile, delicate vibe like I could be blown over by the wind. I walked towards Liu Ruyan, and right in front of Zhang Yida, I stumbled twice, like a frail willow branch, and suddenly collapsed right into Liu Ruyan's arms. My eyes instantly went red. I'm sorry, Ruyan. After exchanging a few words with young Master Zhang, I suddenly got a headache. Zhang Yida was totally dumbfounded. He called me a toy boy earlier purely out of anger to provoke me, hoping to cause a scene and get the attention of the Liu family elders. Say, he didn't expect me to actually lean into the toy boy role. Liu Ruyan put one arm around my shoulder. Her flawless face showed just the right amount of indulgent affection. So delicate. Let's go back to the room and rest. Zhang Yida opened his mouth to speak. He had no idea what he did wrong, but he was forced to just stand there and eat our PDA. Zhang Yida looked at Liu Ruyan with a bit of grievance. He had known Liu Ruyan for so many years, and had liked her since he was old enough to understand things. Yet not once had he seen Liu Ruyan treat him with this kind of attitude. Every time Zhang Yida spoke to her, all he got in return was her icy, unapproachable demeanor. Zhang Yida involuntarily blocked Liu Ruyan and me. Liu Ruyan's attitude towards him instantly turned freezing cold. Excuse me. Once back in the room, we immediately separated. Liu Ruyan mocked me faintly. Sir is quite clever, isn't he? Thanks, thanks. I pretended not to catch her shade. Being naturally like this, Liu Ruyan almost laughed out of sheer annoyance. I've never been the type to just swallow my pride and take abuse. But you know, beggars can't be choosers. For the big boss paying my bills. I'm reluctantly willing to bow my head a little, but taking crap from a total stranger like Zhang Yida, no way I'm letting that slide. And honestly, what's more satisfying than flirting with Liu Ruyan? Right to his face. Absolutely nothing. During dinner that night, Liu Ruyan's 2 aunts came over. Liu Ruyan's second aunt is named Liu Wangxing, looking all soft and gentle. Her third aunt is Liu Qingqing, who wore glasses and looked much more intellectual. Both of them were younger than Liu Ruyan. Old Madame Liu had these 2 daughters late in life, so she doted on them immensely. Chu Chen spoiled his 2 daughters even more. He completely viewed Liu Ruyan as a thorn in his side, wishing she would just disappear early, so his 2 precious daughters could inherit everything from the Liu family. Unfortunately, because of what happened to Liu Ruyan's father, old Madame Liu felt guilty towards Liu Ruyan. Over the years, materially speaking, the Liu family had never shortchanged Liu Ruyan. Old Madame Liu didn't exactly like me. In her eyes, my humble background really wasn't a match for Liu Ruyan. Old Madame Liu might have dared to push Liu Ruyan on other things. But, given the incident the Liu family had experienced before, when it came to relationships, old Madame Liu absolutely didn't dare force Liu Ruyan's hand. You and Ruyan need to treat each other well. Old Madame Liu instructed me with a serious face. Have a child soon. An heir for the Liu family business. I nodded, seeing that I wasn't arguing or causing drama, and wasn't talking back to her. Old Madame Liu actually felt a bit relieved. Chu Chen, on the other hand, wasn't happy. That old Madame Liu's attention was entirely on me and Liu Ruyan. The 2 sisters, Liu Wangqing and Liu Qingqing, were both smooth talkers. They sat on either side of old Madame Liu, laughing and telling her all sorts of fresh gossip, making the old lady laugh out loud. Chu Chen sat beside them, smiling as he listened, occasionally putting food in their bowls. Old Madame Liu's attention was completely captivated by her 2 young daughters, and she paid no more attention to Liu Ruyan. I don't know why. Even though this was Liu Ruyan's home, I felt like Liu Ruyan was just an outsider here. During the day, that male servant said, Liu Ruyan lost her parents when she was very young. Did that mean for the past 20-something years, Liu Ruyan had been living this kind of lonely life, being constantly ignored and uncared for over a long period? Makes it easy for someone to become withdrawn. Yet, Liu Ruyan was always polite to men, and carried herself with grace when talking to anyone. She didn't seem to have any psychological issues at all. You could imagine how incredibly strong this boss's mental state was. No wonder she's so successful. My mind was racing with these thoughts. Watching Chu Chen constantly putting food in his daughter's bowls, I also picked up a slice of mushroom for Liu Ruyan. Liu Ruyan glanced at me, but didn't eat the mushroom I gave her. I was using serving chopsticks, so it wasn't a matter of Liu Ruyan finding me dirty. I figured she was just a picky eater, so I gave her a piece of shrimp instead. This time, Liu Ruyan ate it, from beginning to end. Liu Ruyan didn't say a single word. After dinner, I followed Liu Ruyan back to the room. The 2 of us had already spent last night together in the same hotel room, so sharing a room today didn't feel weird to me anymore. But yesterday, Liu Ruyan slept on the bed, and I only managed to catch a quick nap when it was getting light out. After confirming she was totally fine, if I sleep as poorly tonight as I did yesterday, my body really won't be able to handle it. Can I sleep on the bed tonight? This bed looks pretty big, I asked. Liu Ruyan lit a cigarette. Her slender, breathtakingly beautiful face looked a bit gloomy through the smoke. This was the complete opposite of the gentle image I had of her when we first met. I don't know why, but I always felt like hidden deep in Liu Ruyan's eyes was a hint of violence and restlessness. It made her feel a bit dangerous and scary. But in the split second the cigarette was stubbed out, she put her gentle mask back on and showed a faint smile. Sure, I figured I must have just imagined things earlier. I tentatively asked, Miss Liu, are you okay? Mr. Du, Liu Ruyan said flatly, for your own safety, don't try to care about me, and definitely don't try to understand me. I asked, why, is the earth gonna explode? Liu Ruyan scoffed in annoyance. Opening the bathroom door, she said, "The earth won't, but you will." When she came back from her shower, she had changed into a black silk nightgown. Maybe beautiful women just look amazing in black, and Liu Ruyan was no exception. Her features were so delicate. When she smiled, she looked somewhat gentle, but when she wasn't smiling, she gave off a total do not approach vibe, making people afraid to get close. While she was showering, I thought for a long time, pondering what she said. Liu Ruyan is dangerous, no doubt about it. Sometimes people who look gentle are actually the villains pulling all the strings behind the scenes. It's also obvious that Liu Ruyan hates men. She's a very charismatic woman, and she knows exactly how superior she is. There have always been countless men buzzing around her, so many that she's sick of it. Saying those things earlier was definitely because she was afraid I'd fall for her, and like her other suitors, like Zhang Yida, endlessly pester her. I explained, I actually already have someone I like. Liu Ruyan's narrow phoenix eyes stared coldly at me, making it impossible to read what she was thinking. I said, you know I'm deeply in love with Bai Nangbing, and I could never fall for anyone else in this lifetime. So you don't have to worry about me ever clinging to you. It's just, I don't have pajamas, and sleeping naked isn't great. Can I borrow your pajamas? I knew she was going to reject me. I already looked through your closet just now. This black shirt is pretty nice. I can use it as a sleep shirt. Of course it's nice. All the clothes in her closet, including her underwear, are all black. Getting a nod of approval from the boss, I grabbed the clothes and went into the bathroom. The boss's bathroom is literally bigger than my old bedroom. I took a super quick shower, blow-dried my hair, and came out. With Liu Ruyan being over 17 meters tall, her button-up shirt was more than big enough to be a sleep shirt for me. Ruyan was sitting on the bed, holding a laptop, probably dealing with some emails. I didn't sleep well last night, and after hustling all day today, I was genuinely exhausted. Without even looking, I passed out the second my head hit the pillow. The next morning, having caught up on sleep, I felt super refreshed, just wanting to roll around in bed. I kept my eyes closed and tried to roll over. Wait, I couldn't move. I opened my eyes, and the first thing I saw was a woman's sharply defined jawline. The line from her chin to her neck was sleek and insanely sexy. Even without a prominent Adam's apple, her overall vibe was incredibly feminine. Way more magnetic than those magazine models I used to flip through back when I was shooting movies. A director told me that a movie actor's bone structure has to be better than their skin, because that's what gives them a cinematic, storytelling vibe on camera. Not only is Liu Ruyan's skin flawless, her bone structure is absolutely top tier with zero flaws. Her straight nose bridge is like a mountain peak, and her eyes are deep and striking. Her whole aura is uniquely mysterious. I thought to myself, if Liu Ruyan went to my original world to act, even if she had zero acting skills as a celeb, she could go viral nationwide purely on her face card. But for the current me, looks and body really didn't matter right now. What mattered was, why were the two of us practically undressed and hugging each other first thing in the morning? A flash of panic showed in my eyes. Even though Liu Ruyan is undeniably a top-tier beauty, I'm still a handsome guy myself. In this situation, I'm definitely the one getting taken advantage of, right? Earning that 20 million definitely wasn't easy. The woman's long, strong arm was still wrapped around my waist. I tried to stealthily move her arm away and quietly sneak out of bed. But the second my hand touched Liu Ruyan's arm, she opened her eyes. Liu Ruyan coldly let go. Explain, I quickly said. I wasn't trying to seduce you. I wasn't trying to get close either. You need to see clearly that you were hugging me. Liu Ruyan raised an eyebrow. The more I spoke, the guiltier I felt. I know I'm a pretty messy sleeper, always kicking the blankets and tossing around. Even though this bed is huge, rolling over to Liu Ruyan's side in the middle of the night and ending up cuddling in our sleep wasn't exactly impossible. But right at that moment, I suddenly realized it wasn't me who rolled over to Liu Ruyan's side, but Liu Ruyan who had squeezed me into the corner of the bed. I was literally sleeping on the very edge, while her side had a massive empty space. Obviously, Liu Ruyan just realized this too. I instantly felt justified, feeling my confidence return, and taking the moral high ground. Care to explain? Liu Ruyan wasn't embarrassed in the slightest, and, "This is my bed, Mr. Liu, giving you a corner of space to sleep in is already me being generous." As expected of a CEO raking in millions a day, she can gaslight white into black. Capitalists really do have black hearts. I got out of bed and went to the bathroom. Liu Ruyan watched my back, deep in thought. She twisted open the water bottle on the nightstand, opened the drawer, and took out a pill bottle. She tipped out 2 pills, and made a call to the house servants. Not long after, I heard a knock on the door, and went to open it. Zhang Yida stood outside with red, swollen eyes, holding a set of clothes, and glaring daggers at me. He had just seen a servant bringing up a set of clothes. Every season, luxury brands send their latest collections to the Liu family. These clothes still had their tags on. Following the missus' orders, the servant grabbed a size small suit to bring to the sir. Zhang Yida saw this, snatched the clothes right out of the servant's hands, and followed them up to see what was going on. He bit his lip and looked at me. I was obviously wearing a woman's button-up shirt, my short hair messy and casually resting on my shoulders. One button at the collar was left undone, and the shirt's hem hung just above my knees, showing off my toned, straight legs. Zhang Yida felt a sharp pain in his chest, and literally fainted right in front of me. I looked at Liu Ruyan in a panic. Liu Ruyan was adjusting her tie. She had to head to the company today, so she was dressed in full formal wear. Seeing this, her expression didn't change at all, remaining as calm as ever. "Don't worry about him. He has a severe heart condition. Fainting out of nowhere is completely normal for him." I suddenly felt so glad that I didn't go head-to-head with Zhang Yida yesterday. Otherwise, whether this guy was fake fainting or actually passed out, I'd be the one taking all the blame. The Liu family servants quickly noticed the commotion, hurriedly called the private doctor, and dragged Zhang Yida away. Growing up, Liu Ruyan had seen Zhang Yida faint plenty of times. Sometimes it was just to take advantage of her, deliberately swooning into her arms. Sometimes he was just so mad she ignored him that he passed out from pure rage. A lot of people in the Liu family gossiped behind her back, calling Liu Ruyan cold-blooded and heartless, saying this boy poured his heart out for her. Yet she was so icy, and didn't even give him a second glance. Liu Ruyan just found it hilarious. Just because he desperately wants her, does she have to say yes? Besides, she hadn't forgotten her late father when it came to the Zhang family. Liu Ruyan felt nothing but disgust. When it came to men, she only had one rule: don't fall for her. Stay away, and keep your distance. Liu Ruyan looked at my expression, and asked with faint mockery, "What? Does sir feel bad for him? Does your heart ache for him?" I said, "No. If anyone's pitiful, I think you're the pitiful one, dealing with a suitor like that. Whether you reject him or avoid him, people will always guilt-trip you." Liu Ruyan froze for a second. I sighed again, then again. "I don't even have a real job. I'm literally making a living by selling my marriage. What right do I have to pity you high society, rich young masters, and Mrs. If Miss Liu gave me just a little extra bonus, maybe my heart would ache for you a bit more." Liu Ruyan chuckled, and as she walked past me, she dropped a sweet, gentle sentence: "Don't even think about it." I realized that, sure enough, CEO money is definitely not easy to earn. As soon as Zhang Yida had his episode, he was called over by Chu Chen, and got absolutely chewed out. "Yida is the young master, and you made him fetch clothes for you. Are there no servants in this house?" I said. He snatched the clothes from the servant. "I didn't ask him to get them me. I'm talking to you, and you dare talk back to me." Chu Chen sneered. "Absolutely zero manners. Do you not know that once you married up, you can't talk back when an elder speaks to you? Talk back one more time, and I'll have Ruyan divorce you right this second." I muttered in my head, 20 million, while listening to him twist the facts and continue to scold me. Right then, there was a knock on the door. I looked up and saw Liu Ruyan, who had just left, saying she was going to the company for a meeting. Ruyan stood at the door with a cold face. "Grandpa, there's an event today that requires Chen to attend with me. I'm taking him with me now." Seeing Liu Ruyan, Chu Chen instantly switched back to an amiable face. Alright, you guys go ahead. The big boss saving me from this absolute nightmare. I was practically crying tears of gratitude. I got into the car and buckled my seatbelt. In-law relationships are already notoriously tough, but with Chu Chen, this was the premium, plus upgraded version. The ultimate boss of in-laws, and not even a biological one. I could tell Chu Chen's manipulative skills were top tier, having one attitude when facing Ruya, and instantly switching to another when facing me. I sighed. Good thing he respects you. Otherwise, if he pulled the "I'm your grandpa" card, it would be really hard to get away. Respect? Liu Ruyan gave a silent smile, but her eyes were ice cold. From age 5 to 15, I lived in this estate. I've seen every trick he has up his sleeve. What she experienced at such a young age is more than what many adults experience in a lifetime of toxic drama. Today, I was actually supposed to be left behind. Anyway, I took my money, so I deserve to suffer a bit. But for some reason, Liu Ruyan actually came back. The black Bentley quickly drove out of the villa district, heading towards the city center. I said, "My house is at that." Before I could even finish my sentence, the car stopped, pulling over by the sidewalk. People walking by probably thought a car this expensive was a rare sight. Everyone passing by would steal a glance. "Get out," Liu Ruyan said. "It's easy to catch a cab here." I said, "All right," as expected of the big boss. No matter how gentle she looks on the outside, she's ruthless to the core. I'm going to go find my ex-girlfriend. Correction. Bai Nangbing isn't your ex-girlfriend, Liu Ruyan teased. You never even managed to date her. Little boy, good luck with your love life. I almost choked on my own breath, inhaling a mouthful of car exhaust instead. I took a cab back to my apartment complex. Speak of the devil. I ran straight into Bai Nangbing and Ji Boda. Ji Boda saw me alone. Oh my. Looking at Chenshin. Where's your wife? Bai Nangbing stared at me with a super gloomy face. Her expression was honestly so ugly, as if I had just cheated on her. I said, "My wife went to work. She's super busy. What are you guys doing here?" Ji Boda acted all shy. Nangbing bought me an apartment here. It was so expensive, over 20 million, even though the apartment wasn't in Ji Boda's name. The fact that she let him live in it was basically equivalent to gifting it to him. Bai Nangbing didn't know what was wrong with her either. She wanted to desperately treat Ji Boda well, to prove to herself that the one she loved was Ji Boda. But her cash flow was super tight right now. Dropping over 20 million on a house, all at once, definitely wasn't an easy flex. So this apartment was actually bought on a mortgage. My heart dropped. Ji Boda and Bai Nangbing, buying a place here. Don't tell me they're living in the same building as me. I asked them. Ji Boda was secretly smug, but on the surface, he gave a super shy smile. Chenshin, we're literally right upstairs from you. You don't mind, right? No matter what. Ji Boda always wanted to one-up me. Even when buying a house, he had to be one floor higher than me. This damn plot. I literally chose not to clash with the main couple. So why are these two still jumping right into my face? Thinking about my ending in the original novel gives me chills. In the original book, any male supporting character who went against Ji Boda, even if they realized their mistakes later, would die a horrible death, meeting a tragic end. The original me had a super miserable ending, and others had it just as bad. There was a plot point where Ji Boda fought with Bai Nangbing, and Ji Boda swore to get a new job, to stay away from her. As a result, the male boss at his new job loved making things difficult for him, often forcing Ji Boda to toast clients and sweet-talk them. Later, Ji Boda plotted against this male boss, getting him blackout drunk, and he ended up being assaulted by a group of clients. Ji Boda and his friends even took pictures and leaked them online. The male boss went insane from the trauma. His wife and kids abandoned him, and he was sent to a mental asylum. A cacophony of voices drifted over. I turned around and saw a few of Ji Boda's roommates. Ji Boda's roommates had a super deep grudge against me. The second they saw me, they rushed right in front of Ji Boda to protect him. Gu Chen, what are you doing here? Ji Boda checked Bai Nangbing's expression, and quickly said, "Don't give Chenshin that kind of attitude. Chenshin lives here too, right below me." "Oh, so that's how it is." one of Jibota's roommates, Ma. He's a rich young master, and married a wealthy tycoon, relying on his daddy and a woman to live in a nice place like this. I laughed. Yeah, unlike your Boda, who started from scratch, relying on his own hard work to live here. Their faces instantly changed colors. Gu, Shen. Don't push it too far, I scoffed. Speaking the truth is considered bullying now. Jibota lowered his head, his eyes instantly turning red. He stood pitifully in front of Bai Nangbing. Nangbing, he's right? I shouldn't be living in your house. I should work hard, on my own. Bai Nangbing glared at me coldly. Don't listen to him. Boda, everything I have is yours. After dropping that romantic line, Bai Nangbing waited to see me show a heartbroken expression like I usually did, but I just smiled and walked away. Bai Nangbing was totally stunned. At night, Liu Ruyan stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out at the city's night view. Butler Li walked in from outside, carrying a glass of warm water and some pills. Miss Liu, you should rest early. Liu Ruyan had always struggled with insomnia, and even had more severe issues. About all this, Butler Li knew perfectly well. In front of others, Liu Ruyan always kept her composure flawlessly, graceful, and elegant in speech. People who had never met her would think she was a ruthless, cold-blooded female business tycoon. But everyone who actually met her thought she was a refined lady. Liu Ruyan's inner world was completely desolate and barren, to the point where no one had ever stepped foot in it. If you had to describe it, it would probably be like the deep ocean, 10,000 meters below. The deep ocean is always eternally calm, not showing even the slightest ripple on the surface. Just like Liu Ruyan's strict demands on her own emotions, remaining constantly calm and detached, but in reality, she could trigger a tsunami capable of drowning an entire city. In the dead of night, I covered my ears with a pillow, staring wide-eyed with pure murder in my eyes. Right now, I literally just wanted to run upstairs and kill someone. Can you guys not be so insanely loud in the middle of the night? I know the female lead has a high sex drive, but can you not flex it so loudly? The soundproofing between floors in my apartment actually isn't that bad. It's just that the people upstairs were going way too hard, literally screaming at the top of their lungs. All I knew was that the male and female leads wouldn't stop making noise. One more time and I'm reporting them for a noise complaint. Upstairs, Bai Nangbing was catching her breath, looking at a shy and blushing Jibota. Jibota hugged Bai Nangbing with a satisfied look. He knew Bai Nangbing had been with many men, but she was the one person she had never slept with. Jibota guessed. I must have desperately wanted to sleep with Bai Nangbing. Nangbing, you were so intense tonight, like you were on something. Jibota praised her while blushing. Why were you so different tonight? Hearing Jibota say that, Bai Nangbing's face instantly darkened, because she actually was on something. Bai Nangbing knew I was sleeping right below her. She also knew the soundproofing was decent, meaning if she didn't make a huge scene, the person downstairs might not hear her, because he had sweated so much. Jibota's makeup was starting to run. Bai Nangbing annoyedly wiped Jibota's face. For some reason, she realized that without his makeup, Jibota didn't look that much like me anymore. I was born with naturally fair and flawless skin. Jibota used foundation to create a similar effect, but once the foundation smeared, his real skin tone showed through, and he looked a bit greasy. Jibota sensitively noticed Bai Nangbing's gaze. He saw a lot of distance in her eyes. That look made him panic. He realized his makeup was ruined, so he quickly got out of bed. Nangbing, I'm going to go wash my face. Bai Nangbing was feeling postcoital fatigue, and didn't want to deal with Jibota right now. Less than half an hour later, Jibota came out of the bathroom. He had fully touched up his makeup. His eyes, lips, and nose looked perfectly pathetic, reclaiming that youthful vibe that resembled mine. Jibota proactively knelt in front of her, wanting to serve her. Nangbing, do you still need my help? Seeing Jibota acting like this, Bai Nangbing's hesitation immediately vanished. If you had to choose between me and Yu Che, Nangbing, who would you pick? Bai Nangbing pressed down on Jibota's head. You, obviously. The next morning, I woke up with massive dark circles. I moodily reached for a pair of sunglasses. Jiang Yubai had asked me to hang out today. Stepping into the elevator, I ran into Bai Ninebing and Jibota again. Jibota was wearing a camisole under a paper-thin, white outer shirt. On his collarbone and neck, you could see very obvious hickeys. I rolled my eyes. Just based on the sounds from last night, I could guess exactly what had happened. Jibota gave me a pitiful-looking greeting. Brother Chenshin. Good morning, I sneered. Am I older than you? Why are you calling me brother? Jibota saw how angry I was, but kept up his act. I'm sorry. Bai Ningbing's gaze landed on me. My hair was down. I was wearing a black dress and rocking sunglasses. Either I had cried my eyes out from jealousy, or I had stayed up all night missing her. I said coldly, no need to apologize. Mr. G, just stay away from me. The main characters are pure poison. He didn't buy a place here. Because of you. Bai Ningbing spoke up coldly. Gu Shen, don't be so full of yourself. This is just a coincidence, I said. Sure. Out of 10 zero complexes in Rongcheng, he just happened to buy in mine, and just happened to be in the same building, and just happened to be right above me. Jibota's eyes flickered. Chenshin, why aren't you living with your wife? Why live alone? Why? Bai Ningbing sneered. She knew it was definitely for her. The elevator doors opened. Jiang Yubai just happened to be standing there. Chenshin, you're already down here. Jibota, what are you doing here? I didn't say a single word, just grabbed Jiang Yubai's arm and got in the car. Jiang Yubai looked furious. Did that guy try to plot against you again? Chenshin, I'm working on a plan to mess with him. I'll make sure he leaves Bai Ninebing. I took off my sunglasses. Forget it. Let's just stay far away from them. Yang Yubai looked at me cautiously. Chenshin, what's wrong? Did they actually scare you? I just didn't want me or my friends to end up with the tragic ending written in the book. I said, Jiang Yubai, is there anything else you want to do? Jiang Yubai blanked. Anything else? She didn't know what she should be doing. Looking at her expression, I already had the answer. Jiang Yubai thought for a long time. I don't know. All I've wanted was to mess with Jibota and get you and Bai Ningbing together. I said, starting today, we have a new goal. We stop orbiting them. For example, my current goal is to get my wife to let me back in the house. I was done living under the main couple. I started spamming Lu Ruyan with texts. Decent property in Rongcheng costs a fortune, and I couldn't find a good place on short notice. Conveniently, Liu Ruyan's place was huge. Liu Ruyan finished her morning tasks and was just having coffee in her office when her phone started blowing up. She frowned slightly and looked at the screen. Boss, can we talk? I want to move in with you. Can you give me an empty room? I'll even take the servants' quarters. I won't bother you. I'll be like I'm not even there. Liu Ruyan succinctly asked for the reason. Bai Ningbing and her boyfriend moved in above me. Every time I see them, I'm a mess. Heartbroken and unable to sleep. If I stay in this building, I'm afraid you'll end up a poor widow. Liu Ruyan was a few years older than me. She always viewed the kids' dramatic love lives as a total joke. So, in her eyes, I was a joke too. Ground rules. Liu Ruyan replied casually. Gu Chenhai, if I see you trying anything, or acting weird, I said, don't worry, President Liu. My heart belongs to Ningbing. I'd never try to get with a boss like you. Seeing how obedient my tone was, that face of mine trying to play pitiful actually flashed through her mind. She replied, fine. I sighed with relief. In the evening, as I was heading down with my suitcase, I ran into Jibota and Bai Ningbing again. Bai Ningbing looked at my suitcase. Where are you going? I said flatly, to my wife's place, obviously. Bai Ningbing's face stiffened. We'll be quieter tonight. You don't have to. Jibota saw her expression and bit his lip. Chenshin, I hope you and Miss Liu are happy. A woman like Miss Liu must be hard to keep, right? There must be so many guys chasing her. Hold on tight, I said mockingly. Don't worry. I love my wife. I'll definitely hold on tight. Pretending to love Ningbing in front of Ruyan, and pretending to love Ruyan in front of Ningbing. In reality, I didn't love anyone. Jibota watched me leave. After digging up dirt on Liu Ruyan, he tentatively asked, Ningbing Chenshin, Is that woman he married? Is she just a little bit richer than you? Hearing Jiboda say that, Bai Ningbing's face darkened. Just a little bit. Are you serious? Jiboda shook his head. I just think Brother Chenchen has always loved money. If that woman is richer than you, no wonder he left with her. That sentence instantly stung Bai Ningbing's heart. She sneered. You think Gu Chen would love Liu Ruyan? Impossible. After 3 years of high school, he used to low-key stare at me every single class. Jiboda froze, then joked. Ningbing, did you know that back then, I was secretly staring at you too? Bai Ningbing frowned. She had literally zero memory of Jiboda from their school days. I kinda forgot what you looked like back then. I should find our graduation photo and take a look. The moment he heard about the photo, Jiboda instantly panicked. Forget it. Don't go through the trouble. Bai Ningbing suddenly realized she had actually never seen a single old photo of Jiboda. Jiboda hugged Bai Ningbing. Ningbing, don't worry. Gu Chen ditched you for money and his studies. But I'd never do that. Past or present, you're the only one for me. Hearing this, Bai Ningbing's heart softened. I guess choosing him over Gu Chen was the right move. Arriving at Liu Ruyan's mega mansion, I hauled my suitcase out of the car. Butler Li came out to meet me. I casually asked, am I the first guy your miss has ever brought home? Did you guys see her giving me that special smile? Butler Li replied, not really. Miss Liu has male execs at the company too. As for smiling at men, she's always been perfectly polite and kept her professional composure. Right, as a toxic side character in this novel, I am definitely not the main lead. Better just focus on getting that paycheck. I was put back in my old bedroom, which was right next to Liu Ruyan's. Butler Li warned me, Miss has major sleep issues. So once she's home at night, keep it down. Don't make a sound. I nodded. Butler Li reminded me again. Seriously, don't mess with Miss Wes. She's way out of your league. I gave a quick nod, totally agreeing with him. Liu Ruyan was coming home, super late. I hadn't even seen her for 3 days straight. One night, I went to the fridge for water and passed by the living room sofa, only to find Liu Ruyan passed out on it. Drenched from head to toe, I grabbed a glass of warm water and brought it over to her. I carefully nudged her shoulder. Miss Liu Ruyan seemed to be in a deep sleep, her thick lashes casting a small shadow. Her features were as striking as ever, but suddenly, she opened her eyes, and her gaze was as sharp as a cold blade. Her vibe was completely different. I backed off 2 steps, my hand holding the glass, shaking slightly. Liu Ruyan gave me a cold sweep. Why are you here? 4 days ago, you said I could move in a... Liu Ruyan's mind was a total mess. She couldn't even remember if she had actually agreed to my request. Right now, she just wanted everyone out. She smacked the glass of water out of my hand. It shattered on the floor with a loud crack. The glass flew everywhere, the steam from the water fading away. Butler Li rushed down at the noise. He looked like he'd seen this a million times, his face showing zero emotion. Sir, Miss is just drunk. Go back to your room and rest. I hadn't smelled any alcohol on Liu Ruyan at all. She didn't look drunk in the slightest. But after seeing Butler Li's look, I just headed back to my room. The next morning, I went to the dining room for breakfast as usual. Liu Ruyan was already sitting there. Compared to that icy vibe from last night, today she looked perfectly gentle and refined. It was like night and day. I was a bit stunned. Morning. As for last night, I didn't ask, and she didn't say. Liu Ruyan finished her breakfast quickly and left. As soon as she was gone, my inner gossip flared up. Butler Li. Does Boss Liu have multiple personalities? One for the day, another for the night. Butler Li started making faces and coughing aggressively. Liu Ruyan, holding a cup of coffee, looked at me with a half smile. Sir, you're quite curious about me. I quickly made a zip-it motion across my lips, then looked down and took a massive bite of my sandwich. Liu Ruyan watched me with interest as I inhaled a third of the sandwich in one go, then saw me choking, my face turning red. I don't know why, but Liu Ruyan thought that while this guy was a bit of an idiot, he was actually somewhat useful. Like, as a source of entertainment. My phone rang. Liu Yanran's name showed on the screen. I answered it. Liu Yanran's loud voice blasted through the phone, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. Brother Chen, it's Bai Ningbing's birthday in a few days. What gift are you planning to get her? I checked Li Ruyan's expression. Regarding her new husband, being head over heels for another woman, Liu Ruyan never reacted at all, as long as he wasn't head over heels for her. Like that, psycho, Zhang Yida, she was totally fine with it. I swallowed the urge to say a coffin. I'm still thinking, what are you thinking about? If this keeps up, that trash G-Boda is gonna be even more secure. Liu Yanran shouted through the phone. I've got G-Boda's schedule for the next few days. Should we just kidnap him so he misses the birthday party? Or just straight up finish him off? Bro, in the real world, you'd literally go to prison for that. Even though Liu Yanran actually did end up in prison in the novel, as fellow doomed side characters. I felt like I should try to save him if I could. I chose to help him out. But in front of my legal wife, Liu Ruyan, I couldn't exactly say I was over Bai Ningbing. If Liu Ruyan figured that out, given her narcissistic boss personality, she might suspect I was falling for her and cut off my massive allowance. I hesitated for a second. Is truly entertaining. Facing her mockery, I clenched my fist for a second, then let it go. Whatever, I can't even blame her for laughing. Even I thought this whole Prince Charming act was a joke. I said, Miss Liu has probably never loved anyone, and never been loved either. So I get why you're mocking me. The second I said that, Liu Ruyan's gaze instantly turned back to how it was last night. Her whole aura completely shifted. Butler Li quickly stepped in. It's time to head to the company. The driver is waiting outside. Liu Ruyan turned and walked away. Butler Li didn't even know what to say to me. He knew I hadn't meant any harm with that comment, and was probably just joking. But accidentally, that joke happened to hit the nail right on the head. The next day, I met up with Jiang Yubai's aunt. Her aunt was a high-level exec in the entertainment industry. She had mentioned a few days ago that a major director was holding auditions for a role, and couldn't find the right actor. Since I transmigrated into this book, I didn't want to just sit around doing nothing all day, just in case the big boss suddenly kicks me to the curb. At least I won't be totally stranded. So when I heard this news from Jiang Yubai's aunt, I told her I wanted to give it a shot. When Liu Wangxing arrived, I had already been waiting at the cafe for over 10 minutes. She walked over and sat down. Brother Chen, sorry I'm late. Got held up by some stuff. On the way, Liu Wangxing talked about the director she knew, then went over the script and the character profile. She told me I'd have to audition first, and wished me luck. She said all the right things. But in reality, Liu Wangxing didn't think I could actually pass a big-shot director's vibe check. When I got home that evening, I finally saw the text Butler Li had sent at noon. Everyone has the day off today. No one is home. Sir, please stay at a hotel. I was totally confused. A day off. Aren't the servants in CEO novels supposed to work 365 days a year with 0 breaks? On call, 24/7.